All right, I ate about a third of my sandwich. That'll hold me over. The winner of this will move forward to play Scaphism in the semifinals. I like that we got to see Scaphism's rise to power, so that whoever moves forward from this round, it'll be an emotionally charged match because we followed these players from their humble beginnings. All right, last bite of sandwich, and we're ready to go. Winter decides to go with Covenant. BuRny choosing Nerazim. This is the third game. Keep in mind, in the first 2 games of your best of 3, you have to random it between at least 2 factions, which you've seen these players do. Now, both players, when given the option, BuRny actually going with Nerazim. He's very, very, very strong with Raiders, as we saw in the last match, and able to hold on for a long time against Winter, even though Winter eventually won in Game 1. But Winter seemingly preferring Covenant, and he did play a great Covenant last match, using those advisors to their great extent, and playing with those devotees and having them die at just the right times to get Ascendants out, things like that, little strategies like that, that really just make these games just charged with energy. This tournament so far has been excellent. This round and the last round have just been excellent. And then, in the upper left, we've got BuRny, who chose Nerazim. I've never seen BuRny play Nerazim. We'll see how he does. Nerazim has gotten some changes, some tweaks since the last tournament, so we'll see how he's able to perform with them. One thing I always tout about the Nerazim is their units are great at harassing, and you get immediate warp gate. But you've got this Nerazim pylon power, which you can only build pylons near a nexus. You can research something at the Cyber Core to get around that, but until you do that, you can't proxy with your super fast, powerful zealots. Your zealots aren't super fast, but they're fast. They're not as fast as devotees. Devotees are basically just a better version of fanatics, which is the zealot for Nerazim. So this is an interesting matchup to see how this is going to go. And again, I'm glad to see Covenant progressing and seeing some late game Covenant too, because Covenant, my personal favorite. It's my personal favorite. So we'll see how Winter decides to use them against Nerazim. We'll see how BuRny decides to use Nerazim against Covenant, for that matter. We got a fast Cyber Core coming up. I mean, it's not really fast. I would expect a Cyber Core rather than another Gateway, but no expansion from either player right away. We've got the devotees coming in. We've got a Mobius SCV just checking this out. No wall from BuRny, so he's not going to be able to stop those devotees from running into his base. The question is, what's he trying to do here? He's going for fast Stalkers. The Stalkers may be able to kite the devotees. The devotees are so fast. 4.2 movement speed is crazy. Deciding to turn around with his devotee. He's patrolling with it. He's doing something. I'm not sure why he decided to turn around there for a brief moment. I'm not sure if he saw something in particular that he decided was a little scary to him. Now, the Nerazim function, interestingly, in the sense that you need to unlock the units that you want to build. Here's the Stalker. The Stalker is a little slower, I think. I think it's 413. It's barely slower than the Devotee. The Devotee killing 3 workers. 3 workers? 2 workers before going down. Down to the Stalker. And this Stalker, 1 kill, still an Initiate. Sorry, buddy. You'll get up there eventually. You just keep killing stuff. We have a Mobius Command Dome coming out for Winter. No expansion in sight from BuRny. It's actually being blocked by this Devotee. And BuRny moving across the map with a single Stalker. We'll see what he's going to do with that. But the Devotee gets in the base. When the Stalkers are away, the Devotees will play using that defensive shield boost to keep some of his probes alive. And look at Winter planting his Devotee right in between the mineral lines. But coming back with the Stalker here, going to force him to move. And this Devotee killing 2 workers, 4 workers killed by Winter. Winter very good with these harassment tactics. We saw him with Raiders in Game 1 with some really, really, really strong harassment against BuRny. All right, so what do we have coming up from both players? We have an engineering department coming up from Winter. This allows him to get upgrades for his Mobius tech. You'll notice the anvil is your Protoss tech. So the way that this works is it's not like you have ground and air upgrades. You have Mobius upgrades, so like the upgrades from here will attack your ground and air of Mobius units. And then same with the Protoss, and I believe the hybrid may have a separate, or it may be based off the Tal'Darim, but I think it's separate. I'm not 100% certain, to be honest. We still have this one Stalker here, and Dark Shrine. He's trying to unlock Dark Templar. The thing is, it looks like Winter able to see this. Yep. Can, Let's see if he can definitely see it. Plain as day, he's able to see it. His devotee goes down. Did he get another worker? He got another worker. He's sending these devotees in. They're dying, but what it is, it's allowing him to get these ascendants. I wonder now he sees that the Dark Shrine is here. Dark Templar are now unlocked. He can start warping those in. So what are WinterSC's options for detection? He's building these missile batteries. He scouted. And there's the Dark Templar. Let's track how many kills this thing has. 2 kills. Can't quite one-shot workers. Trying to finish the missile battery. The missile battery finishes just in time. Winter reacting exactly how he needed to when he saw that Dark Shrine. Building those missile batteries at both of his bases when he saw the possibility of Dark Templar. We saw this Warp Prism with the Dark Templar drops. And this missile battery can also attack air, so I think BuRny's a little hesitant. I feel like he was probably depending a lot on that Dark Templar drop. He put a lot of money in the ability to even build Dark Templar, and then actually the money to build them. And unfortunately, it feels like, I don't know how much he really got done there. How many workers did he kill? 2 compared to the 10 that Winter has killed. He's trying to set up his Warp Prism back here. Another Dark Templar coming in, getting picked up by the Warp Prism. You got the long-range Warp pickup. That's pretty neat. So able to save that Dark Templar. So what's BuRny going to try to do now? Getting a Forge. Possibly for some cannons or some upgrades. Who knows? But what's his long-term plan here? We see his second base is only just now coming up. Again, I think he put a lot of stock on that Dark Templar rush. But now, unfortunately, I think Winter's got a solid lead. Though we'll see, depending on how fast he wants to take a third base. What's the income like? Winter leading by only a little bit. Frankly, I think we have... Oh, Predators running into the base. This Stalker going to try to hold on. So many workers going down. Winter is supply blocked, but BuRny getting so much taken out. The Stalker going to try to hold on. And what's going on over here? BuRny is distracted with the Stalker drops, but meanwhile at home there's a Predator that's going down. He did manage to stop by here and kill this Predator. When both players are harassing each other, it's so challenging to keep track of this. This Stalker getting left behind. Unfortunately, we do have Ascendants out from Winter deciding to dump some of his gas and let those devotees come on out. And wow, that was intense considering both players were harassing each other at the same time. Let's check the losses right here. 20 workers killed by Winter. That is huge. Winter seemingly winning in this particular matchup right now just because of the workers that he's killed. How many Ascendants? 4 Ascendants. BuRny trying to find an opening for something to do with this Warp Prism. Another Predator going out. And as we saw in Game 1, Winter is just relentless with his worker harassment. It just never stopped. And it really keeps BuRny on his toes. We'll see how BuRny can hold on now. He's just got his second base set up. Income. Significant lead by Winter, but we've seen that in Game 1, and he came back. A Robo-Bay coming out, which will allow BuRny to make his Annihilators and eventually Disruptors. We'll see what he decides to unlock. He's got to pay for those. He's going for Annihilators right now. Annihilators with that Shadow Cannon, quite good, and it's going to be very helpful against... Well, both the Ascendants, you can just snipe Ascendants with the Shadow Cannon, or if we see Winter transition into Hybrid. We don't see any Hybrid coming out. We've got Fast... What does this do? Fast Tracks. Increases movement speed and turning speed for Warbots. Seems great, considering they can shoot while moving. That's an interesting upgrade. I didn't even know that existed. So it seems like we're pretty Mobius-focused this time around from Winter. We don't see any Hybrid tech yet. Not yet. Both players only on 2 bases. BuRny trying to get back in. Very far behind. He's less than double of what Winter has in terms of supply, and I feel like Winter just trying to find, or BuRny just trying to find a way in. Just trying to find that way in where he can put in some Dark Templar, but with these missile batteries, and again, Winter played it just right where he surrounded the building missile battery with SCVs so that it could finish just in time to get rid of that Dark Templar. That was a big turning point in the game, but we'll see what happens. We've seen BuRny come back from worse for sure, specifically Game 1. We have a missile battery that's just sort of built out in the middle of nowhere here. This is interesting, and it'll stop BuRny from getting out too far without Winter knowing. So the question is, what is BuRny doing now? He's got a hidden base coming up all the way down here in the bottom left, but Winter is going to start pushing in right now, and these droids have that sensor power, so Dark Templar not going to be too powerful against them as long as they have energy. So, unfortunately, the expansion for BuRny is going to go down. We'll see, can he do anything to hold on here? He has 1 Annihilator out. What's he going to do with it? And the Shadow Cannon autocast actually went ahead and got used on the missile battery. And unfortunately for BuRny, he's supply blocked, and I think that's it. So Winter moving on into the semifinals against Scaphism. That was probably the best series that I've seen so far, and this match was a nice way to round out the first two, which were very, very intense. And then this one, a lot of minor harassment into, I think, when Winter felt, yep, it's time to go, and he pushed, and that was it.